Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I am Conostep and this is going to be part 6 of my early campaign where I'm playing as the Byzantines. And the war with the Egyptians is well underway. It has kicked off pretty nicely here. I have just pushed them back to Sinai at this point. They have given up most of these territories without a fight. And at this point they have consolidated their best soldiers here in Sinai. So this might be where they make their stand. My guys are a little bit spread thin at this point. And I don't mean that to say that my armies themselves aren't, capable. They are, but the fact that I am holding a 3-province front here at Tripoli, Palestine, and Arabia does make me a little bit vulnerable to a counterattack because I do have some ongoing sieges here in Arabia and then Tripoli as well as where my emperor resides. And it's possible for this concentrated Egyptian force to push out and perhaps disrupt my siege here in Arabia would be my guess. And try to rescue some of their soldiers here. And these are some decent soldiers, Nubian spearmen and camels. So it's worth being rescued and it's a keep as well. So to stop them from doing that, I intend on attacking them here in Sinai with my best general, Prince Emmanuel, just a Chad, sitting at 8 command stars. Just really, really good. I mean, this guy could really be something. I kind of wish that he was my next in line. Alas, he is not, but if he can win some pretty epic battles for me, that would be pretty nice. And I'm thinking about sending him in here. This seems like an idea because I would be going up against this 1-star Sultan. Because he would be leading this army over this 6-star general, El-Afdal Shahinshah. 6-star general, and he's a fine leader, +4 morale. And he would not be leading this army. It would be this 1-star Sultan. And yeah, look, he's not too great. He's just lost, I think his 2 family members have died so far. And he's a natural leader, so +2 morale, but weak defender. Ooh, -1 command when defending. The rigid discipline and attention to detail required to effectively defend on the battlefield are not his strong points. -1 command when defending. That's going to put him down to 0 stars if I attack him here. Wow. So, my guys would be fighting with really insane valor. As we see right here, we're seeing guys with 5 valor, 6 valor, 4 valor. That's pretty solid. And all of their guys are sitting at 0 valor because they're not getting any bonuses from the Sultan. And my army here is looking okay. I do have 4 units of Trebizond archers. 3.5 units of horse archers, so that's a lot of firepower. The melee front is a little bit lacking for sure. I do have 3 units of healthy spearmen, 2 units of javelins, Slav javelin men, and then 1 unit of Arab infantry, which is my swordsman. So that Arab infantry, that 1 unit of swordsman would really have its work cut out for him when it comes to cutting through all of these Nubian spearmen. He is made to do that, but Nubian spearmen are a quality unit. But with my, bonus, the fact that he's, sitting at 4 valor from the general means that he, is going to be hitting above his weight. In fact, all of my guys will be. In fact, my basic spearmen might be able to beat Nubian spearmen head on head. Yeah, they might be able to hold the line there. I think this is a fight that's going to be worth going in for. I could bring in just a couple of units from Arabia to help out. For instance, I have this 10-man unit of feudal sergeants, which probably could be swapped out, and then this 20-man unit of horse archers. If I could find better units to bring in instead of them. For instance, gosh, it's tempting to send in another unit of javelins. Do I want javelins that badly? Going up against all of these camels, it really is tempting. Javelins can do such a good job. I'm a little bit wary of sending another unit of spearmen from this army because this army in Arabia only has 1 full-strength unit of spearmen. And on the off chance that this army does want to sally out, they have 2.5 units of camels and 2 units of spearmen, 2 Nubian spears. So I kind of need these spearmen just to, hold the line if I get charged. So I don't really want to send them, but maybe a unit of another unit of Slav javelinmen, and perhaps just a full strength unit of horse archers. And then sitting in Arabia here, this army is just going to starve out this army because I don't have any siege equipment. Do I have? So I have 536 men, and the garrison has 298. So they should not sally out. I'm kind of hoping they just kind of sit in that castle and starve to death. So we will see if they do. I can't send any guys down, can I? No, they're kind of on their own. And ooh, I could send these guys. How much are you needed here in Palestine? 104% loyalty. No. Just stay. And then here in Tripoli, I do want to send my emperor in and finish this siege. If I can keep this keep without destroying it or knocking it down a level to a fort, that would be really nice. And the fact is, there's really not much in there. It's peasants, you know, a unit of full strength urban militia, which is a weak unit anyway, a 20-man unit of Nubian spears, and a 27-man unit of urban militia. That's really not much. It's just about getting into the keep itself, and I do have a catapult that can help with that. So, yeah, I think that's what I do. Make sure I get in there. And yeah, as far as this battle in Sinai goes, I mean, I'm really curious. That'd be really fun if we could kind of get this. It'd basically be like 1v2, in regards to their armies. And these are really solid armies. A lot of camels, a lot of Nubian spears. Not a ton of firepower. Really not a lot of firepower. Like 2 units of archers total. But definitely it's going to be a melee rush. And it's going to be a question of, can I withstand that melee rush? Because my armies are more range focused. But gosh, I mean, even my Trebizond archers, jacked as they are with their valor sitting at 5 and 6, these guys are going to cut through these infantrymen, I think. I really think so. Trebizond archers have pretty good, pretty solid melee stats for an archer unit. And they have a shield as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think I can take this fight. And if I can kill that Sultan, that's going to knock down the morale for the entire army, including the reserves. Yeah, let's see what I can get done with that. Now, that's not it, though, because on the west side, the Hungarians have attacked me, and they've started a war. That's annoying. I don't think they're very threatening. And I have been able to kind of bolster my forces, in a relatively short period of time. In fact, at this point, I'm just kind of sending my forces out west now. This is going to be my last unit of spearmen heading down to the Egyptian front. From here on out, sending spearmen out west, Trebizond archers out west. Do I have any horses ready to go? No, I do not. I need horses. I don't have any horses in my western armies. This is my great weakness. I can train archers. I can train spearmen, swords. I'm training Byzantine infantry. My swordsmen here in Constantinople now because I'm not building any more ships here now. I'm 1 turn away from being able to build ships here in Cyprus, so that's going to be good. And then 3 turns away before I can build ships in Rhodes. And then I'm 1 turn away from having the keep finished here in Crete. And then I can build that that boat building. I always forget what it's called. The shipwright. Yeah, the shipwright. And yeah, so that's going to be on its way shortly as well. And then I can just start pumping out boats from the islands. So, yeah, infantry is what I want from Constantinople. I mean, I'll be getting +1 armor and +1 morale from my church and my armor. So that's hefty. But I need horses now. And I can train them. I can train horse archers from Nicaea, so I will be getting that. For the most part, I am just focused on boats and soldiers at this point. I would love to be able to, tack up and build some cool stuff, but I just don't really have the funds for it until I can get a better economy going. And on that front, that's going to kind of rely on these boats here of mine killing this Italian boat, and then moving on to the Tyrrhenian Sea and being able to clear out this Italian boat. And then hopefully I can get an automatic ceasefire with the Italians. And then I can start making money off of these ports. From there, yes, then hopefully I can start focusing on my infrastructure and teching up and getting some really cool stuff. But right now, it's kind of all hands on deck with these two wars, you know, the two land wars that I'm fighting against the Egyptians and the Hungarians. But once I'm ready for it, I would like to be able to get a keep going here in Nicaea so that I can train up to my next tier of cavalry, which are my Byzantine Lancers. And that's the main thing, really. Just getting some like capable, decent, like light, you know, light shot cav would be nice. Obviously, gearing up Constantinople so that I can train Varangian guards once I've reached my high period is going to be very nice as well, because Varangian guards are only available in the high period. So like once you hit that point, you just want to train those guys out. You just want to pump them out until that high period's over so you can have enough of them to get you through the rest of the campaign. As we move on into the next turn, first things first, we got a castle assault. Here we are in Tripoli. Let's get this job done. I think we can cut through all of these peasants with hopefully relative ease here. As we jump right on into this siege here in Tripoli, I have my catapults getting to work on this gate. I did put them pretty close to this wall so that they have they are in range of the inner gatehouse as well. I'm trying to screen them out with this small little unit of air infantry. So hopefully if they take some shots so that I don't lose as much of my catapult crew to the archers on this palisade here. And then I have my own archers using their fire arrows to burn down a little secondary area in this palisade. And I do have I'm wondering about some things now. So this is a basic keep, right? This is a keep with no defensive upgrades. And the stockade will still shoot arrows out just like the basic stockade in a fort, right? Like, my guys are taking casualties, as we can see, just from these, like the arrows coming from the stockade. And in fact, I think my catapult crew has actually lost one guy as well. My air infantry have not lost anyone so far. But then we also have these arrow towers inside, right? And I'm wondering, is the damage input or output from a arrow tower, is it like a lot more than a palisade or a stockade? Is it faster? You know, is it more deadly, more accurate? I'm not sure. I really don't know about that. It does seem like once you get in here, arrows do seem to really spit out of an arrow tower, but I don't know. I don't know about that. So, yeah, just wondering about that. And also, my understanding is that the first defensive upgrade for a keep is going to be replacing this outer stockade with a stone wall. And I think what comes with that is going to be like iron gates, just like we have the inner gates here. So this is going to have like burning oil pour out and land on the men, whereas here there's not going to be any of that. If my guys were to go up to this gate without this catapult to break it down, they could still get in without, well, with less casualties, I believe. But then these inner gates, I believe, are stronger when they are, you know, reinforced. And they do have a better damage output with their burning oil as well. And yeah, so the first defensive upgrade for a keep would be replacing this wooden thing with a, you know, a reinforced steel gate and a stone wall, I believe is the case. And then the second defensive upgrade would be adding ballista towers. And I think that that replaces some of the arrow towers with ballistas, but not all of them. Quite frankly, I don't even know if that's worth it because, I mean, we've seen ballistas in action. They are not accurate. They can be powerful. They can do a lot of damage versus, you know, for instance, units with heavy armor, like cavalry. But if you're just going up against, like, you know, like a mass horde of infantry, it seems like the arrow towers would do good enough. But in any case, that's enough about that. I just, you know, if you have any answers regarding about, you know, castle makeup or structure or the upgrades, I would like to hear your thoughts on these things. But now that my swordsmen are inside the outer tier here, the outer layer, they will be making short work of all of the peasants here. And now my catapult has trained its sights on this inner gate, and eventually we will make our way on in there as well. Maybe you can see it on your screen, but I can see it, and the arrows that are coming out of these arrow towers do seem to be coming out at a really quick rate. I mean, they're just being spit out. And that same goes for this keep as well, this inner keep. also is spitting out arrows, so the damage potential of these, these defenses are substantial. This inner gate is going to take quite a bit longer for me to get into it than I would have liked, so I put my men into loose formation so that they will be taking less fire from all of these arrows, but still, it's going to be pretty bloody just kind of standing here. And eventually I will send another unit to help out my Almahad urban militia who are just getting fried by this hot oil, and I'm continuing to shoot with my catapult as well at this inner gate. Now that my men have made it through the inner gate, it's time to get in here and cut through these elite urban militia. I mean, compared to what we had out here with just the peasants, these guys are going to put up a better fight, and the fact that I have to fight through just one narrow choke point as opposed to having a secondary entry point is going to make this a bloodier fight. The resistance has seemed to really stiffened up here, and I feel like in some ways I'm actually getting pushed back, which is kind of shocking considering the quality of my Byzantine infantry. However, maybe I have too many spearmen saturated in here and not enough, swordsmen to chop through these lightly armored units that are defending this inner keep. At some point, I do decide to bring up my Emperor himself. Yes, he's coming up now because he wants to bring his leadership aura, his command skills, closer to the fight. And he's moving pretty slow, but you know what? You might get there in time, because I feel like some of my guys are starting to break, and these defenders are really fighting me very tenaciously. Now my Emperor has finally made it into the fight, now that there's only 5 Nubian spearmen left, but at this point he might be necessary, because these Nubian spearmen have just been fighting me demonically. My oh my. They started this battle with only 20 of them, and the fact that there's still 5 left, I mean, they are just chopping through my guys, finally down to 4 guys. They are just putting up the demon's work. There remains one last defender being pushed all the way back into the keep, fighting just heroically back here. Oh man, my Emperor has to come in and slay him in hand-to-hand combat to finally end the siege here in Tripoli. Holy crap, what a grind. Well, that last part of the siege was quite a grind, wasn't it? I mean, I thought the first part went quite well. But yes, those Nubian spearmen and even those peasants and the Serbian militia, they put on a pretty desperate fight there in that inner keep, especially, Jesus, that last 5 guys, they really put up a fight. But you know what? Now Tripoli is now mine, and yeah, hopefully I'm able to keep the keep. We will see. We'll find out. Tripoli, yeah, looks like it got knocked down to a fort. God damn, that sucks. I really thought that by assaulting the castle, you got to kind of keep that level that you were on. Maybe the way it goes is that when there's a defensive upgrade, that counts as like a level. So, if you attack, for instance, a keep that has a defensive upgrade, you lose that defensive upgrade, but you keep that keep. Maybe that's how that works. And then I wonder if it works the same way. If that's how that works, I wonder if that's the same for when you just siege out a garrison. Would you just lose that one level of defensive upgrade? So if that's the case, then there's no real point into assault castles except to save time. And that's it, I think. It would just be to save time, right? I mean, I know you would be losing some soldiers during the turns just through attrition, but still less than what you'd lose during a castle assault. I would reckon so. I mean, I haven't added it up, but in any case, Tripoli's mine. I have pillaged 875 florins. That's a pretty good grab. And are they sallying out? Okay, so this is what happened, and this is kind of what I was afraid of what was happening. It looks like they went all in on Arabia, which is the province that I was sieging out, and I have an army here that is not, it's just not very strong. It's too bad, but I think that I will have to retreat from this. Yeah, I was hoping that by attacking Sinai, I would essentially kind of force them to to stay and defend that province, but they did strike out and attack one of my weakened wings of my line. And this is just not a fight that I want to take. I'd rather leave this army intact and then go back in and strike at Arabia. And if anything, though, it has kind of probably weakened their forces because it has kind of put them in a position where they've, had to overextend themselves. So let's abandon the province here. Arabia's lost. And then they retreated from Sinai. So now it seems like they're kind of holed up in Arabia now, in a sense. They will have some units garrisoning this castle in Sinai, of course. And I reckon they probably have some units still in Egypt as well, is my guess. Okay, so we did sink that Italian boat, but we did lose a boat of our own, which is frustrating because both of my admirals were 3-star admirals, and I was hoping to kind of take that one. Looks like my Byzantine Empire he's finally died from an illness. Okay, well, so that siege in Tripoli was his last hurrah, and he was a good one, for sure. He was a good one, but I made sure that his son, his eldest son, has stayed alive. He's not the best of the sons, but he's fine. He'll do okay. I did build some defensive upgrades for my forts on my bordering provinces in Bulgaria and Serbia and Georgia. Just, because these are my border provinces, so I wanted to get some upgrades going. They're really cheap, and it only takes a turn to build them, so. Watchtowers are finished here in Palestine. And the shipwright is finally finished in Cyprus, so now I can start building boats there. And the keep is finished in Crete, so now I can start building a shipwright in Crete. Border fort is good in Antioch, now I can start just building a regular fort there. And what do we got? Prince Manuel, yeah, numerate. This is my 8-star general, my youngest of my sons who are of age. And this man's mastery of the arts of addition and subtraction give him a sound grasp of fiscal affairs, +2 acumen. So he's not just really good at just leading armies, he's also really good at counting. And who is an unhinged loon? One of my peasants? Okay, well, that's okay, I suppose. Alright, Tripoli is now, let's bring you down. Very low taxes, sitting at 96% loyalty. I think we can fix that with a border fort. That should be fine. And where is my emperor? Did he end up back in Constantinople? Yeah, that's kind of annoying, but whatever. So yeah, let's check him out. Emperor Alexius II, 3-star general, 2 acumen, 4 dread, 3 piety, and a bit of influence. 7 influence is fine. And he is married, and he is only 38, so he can have some sons on the way, hopefully. Natural leader, so +2 morale and +1 loyalty, and very lazy, so -2 command, -2 acumen. So he could be, way better than what he is. But, he's married, so he hopefully can have some sons on the way. Right now, it's left to his brothers to be the next in line, so Prince Andronicus is the 32-year-old. He's the one, this guy's fought really well for me. He's the one that only has 6 men left in his unit. And unfortunately, he was just forced to retreat from Arabia. But 5-star general, yeah, he's good. And, yeah, he's a good battlefield leader. And then, yeah, of course, Prince Manuel, we all know and love. he's good. And then Prince Romanus is still 8 years away before he becomes of age, so we'll keep an eye on him. But that means that my emperor now doesn't have any actual sons, so he needs to get to work on that. Maybe that's why he went back to Constantinople. He needs a little time back at home and away from the field of battlefield so that he can secure the line of his emperor. So what do we got here? We have some soldiers. Let's see. This is my emissary to Egypt. Go spy on this army here. This is going to last for 3 turns. God damn. 3 turns to siege out these 2 camels and this 1 Saharan cav here in Sinai. I think I need to attack that. I do have enough archers to just kind of shoot them all to death. Yeah. But then what do I do with this? Like, I think I ignore this. And I just go into Arabia. Because right now, this is kind of left open. Like, sure, I can just retreat to my castles and draw them further into my territories, but that gets annoying. Eventually, I do want to lock down this army and draw them into a battlefield, or into a battle. And yeah, I think, yeah, I'm trying to predict their next move. Because if I simply go all in with my forces from Sinai and Palestine into Arabia, and then they just retreat back to Sinai again, then that kind of defeats the purpose of what I just did, right? Then we're just going to end up in a little loop, little pattern. I do have my Emperor's army here in Tripoli. It's kind of beaten up by now. But maybe I can bring this along with some forces, some reinforcements down into Syria, and maybe we can just hold this. Or at least draw them into a costly battle. Gosh, I don't know. What do I have in Palestine? Nothing. This situation has really left me in a pickle. I have been thinking about this one for a while now, and I'm kind of stuck in between a couple of different options. One of them is being really aggressive, and I've kind of already talked about this before, where I just attack with what I have here in Sinai and Palestine into Arabia, but they probably will not take that fight. They might retreat back to Sinai, and that would possibly leave me in the situation that I found myself in essentially at the beginning of this episode. Then there's the conservative option. I try to play defensively and try to build up my territories a little bit, just because at this point Tripoli basically needs this force in Tripoli. I want it to be in Syria to defend, but I can't really afford it because Tripoli might end up going rebel on me, and that's going to give the Egyptians some more loyalist troops, I would assume so. And loyalist troops can typically be pretty good. It's not going to be like a peasant rebellion where it's mostly peasants. Loyalist soldiers could be Nubian spears and Bedouin camel warriors, so I don't really want to give them another free army. And and Palestine itself is kind of untenable because I don't have a fort built here. If I start building one, it's not going to be ready for another 4 turns. The nice thing about playing Shogun is that a castle can be built in 2 turns. Not here. You have to kind of plan ahead on it. And that leaves Palestine essentially undefendable. If they do attack, I just have to retreat and give up Palestine. And obviously kind of playing conservatively just gives up the initiative, right? That makes sense. It's kind of a tough choice. I don't really want them to pull deeper into my territory, but I kind of have a third option that I thought of, and that is to be really hyper aggressive with my Prince Manuel, my champion, the flower of my nobility. He can go into Egypt. He can go deeper, further into Egyptian territory, to the heartland itself, and take out whatever this force is. I don't know what it is. It might be decent. I think it might be decent. My emissary hasn't arrived in time to give me intel, but I remember the Egyptians having some decent forces. So whatever it is, I think I can kill it though. Prince Manuel's force is pretty okay, and I think I can beat Egypt, in Egypt. And that would take 1 turn and then 2 turns to potentially take out the fort, which could be a bloody fight depending on what they have. But so far, I have not seen too many ranged soldiers for the Egyptians. It seems like they are sort of melee focused, whereas the Turks were more of a shooty faction. So taking the fort might not be that bloody. So it might take 2 turns total to take Egypt. Now, that could have the effect of drawing these armies back into these territories. And if I can draw these armies back into Sinai after I've essentially dealt with this army here, then they're kind of in the trap. Kind of. I mean, they can still escape it. But if they go into Sinai, then I potentially can attack Sinai from both Egypt and Palestine. Even if I have not sorted out this siege yet by then, who cares? It should only be a couple of units by that point. And hopefully I can kind of catch these armies in a pincer movement in Sinai, Now, they could still escape to Arabia. They could. If I could have more units available to take Arabia as soon as they leave it, that would be really nice. And I do wonder if they would leave any forces to defend it, or would they just take everyone back to Sinai, or would they kind of counter my play by going deeper into my territories? You know, say fuck Egypt and just kind of go further and try to kind of, you know, pull me this way. And if that's the case, then I think I'm just kind of stuck in a situation where, fine, let's just kind of play a defensive, what was it called? I'm kind of drawing a blank right now. Well, where you just kind of draw the enemy further into your territories, you know, kind of draw them apart and play sort of a receding defense. And I have obviously forts in all of these provinces. Oh, I don't. Antioch doesn't have a fort yet. 4 turns away. But the idea is I could essentially hole up into any one of these garrisons, and anytime they get stuck on a province with a fort, they are, you know, left with the decision to either siege that fort or to continue on. And if they decide to stay and try to actually take a fort, then I can potentially kind of, you know, attack them from 2 different provinces. Hopefully with these armies, you know, this army and this army can kind of hound them and try to draw them into a fight. I don't know if these 2 armies could beat these 2 armies, because these armies are no Prince Manuel army. But yeah, it's, you know, we'll have to do, I suppose. I think that's the play. I think I play for Egypt and see where where that draws them. If they attack Palestine, I will withdraw. If they attack Syria, I will just retreat to the castle. And yeah, if they attack Sinai, then I can kind of come down on them from both angles. And that's going to be the strategy with that. So let's try to bring taxes. I probably will. I just don't want to give them more soldiers. Yeah, hopefully, I mean, is that... Oh gosh, that's going to give them another army, isn't it? We will see. We will see. I don't want to overthink that one. Yeah, whatever. I think this is a good plan, so let's just kind of stick to that. Let's make someone the governor of Tripoli. I found someone, I thought. Was that you? Was it you? Yeah. 4 acumen, 3 dread. You should do the trick. I'm gonna give you... This is a good title. 2 loyalty, 1 acumen, 1 piety. Now Tripoli's sitting at 143% loyalty. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's what I like to see. So yeah, that's gonna be the plan. So let's kind of go into Egypt and see how that goes. In the meantime, I'm starting to build boats here in Cyprus, and I'm still bringing soldiers out west. Although I'm kind of, with the way things are going here, I'm kind of thinking about reverting strategy and bringing soldiers back east again. I wish I could hire some mercenaries, but none are available here in Trebizond, so that is unfortunate. Now the Egyptians have decided to retreat from Egypt, and I suppose... Can they just go through me? Can they go through my army attacking from Sinai? I thought you couldn't do that for some reason, but I guess... Yeah, I guess you can. Okay, so they just ended up back in Sinai. But I fucked up Egypt, so I pillaged a lot of money, and I did destroy some buildings. And since they retreated from Egypt, it's now mine. I don't have to fight. You know, there's no fort garrison, so that's nice. I got my second tier of defensive upgrades from my forts in Georgia, Serbia, and Bulgaria finished. Watchtower is finished in Tripoli, and Horse Breeders Guild is finished here in Nicaea. Prince Andronicus is now a builder, so plus in happiness. Alrighty then. Okay, so let's see. The Almohads are hanging out here in Cyrenaica. So what do they got? So this is kind of decent, man. So the 3 forces left by the Egyptians are actually kind of decent. Camels, Saharan Cav, Nubian Spears. What do they have? I kind of want to know. Let's send my emissary over here to see what they have here in Cyrenacia. Actually, no, that's unnecessary because I can just build a watchtower and that will give me that information. And let's train up a peasant so that I can garrison Egypt. And let's just bring down taxes because I'm probably going to leave Egypt right away. Gosh, do I leave anything? Michael Dalasena. I know that you've probably never heard of Egypt. You probably don't know where Egypt is. But I'm going to make you the governor of Egypt because you know what? You know how to count and you are kind of scary. So yes, you'll be the Duke of Egypt, +3 loyalty. And yeah, 140% loyalty, 439 florins. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do nicely. Go back to not hearing about Egypt ever. And all right, what is the play here? What is the play? How do I force the Egyptians into a fight? How do I trap them? What do I do? Can I... So I did not start building that fort in Palestine. Should I have done that? Just don't see... How do I be the fox here? The desert fox. How about this? What if I just kind of push them out of Sinai? They should retreat to Arabia. Well, ooh, Egypt? 0%. That's, man. Okay, so I can't keep Egypt if I leave him. Okay, what if I attack? What if I just leave Palestine? What if I do that? Palestine, you're not going to be happy. What about do this? Tripoli is going to be fine, just barely. Palestine should be fine. Yeah, okay, what about that? And they might actually stay and take this fight. 676 men versus 679. That's almost even. So they might stand and take this fight here. I don't know if they would reinforce with these armies. What if I just attacked them with a couple of units just to kind of keep their attention here in Arabia? I wonder if they would attack Palestine. It's a tough call. Let's try this. Let's see if I can figure this out. Did I start building my boat? No, I ran out of money. That's too bad. Well, let's take these boats over to the Tyrrhenian Sea and try to wipe out this Italian fleet. And the Hungarians did attempt a couple cheeky little strikes on me, but they decided that was a bad idea, so they ran away. So that was an intelligent move on their part. Okay, so the Egyptians did decide to attack Palestine with a pretty small force, and then they decided to retreat from that. That's an interesting choice. My forces are invading Arabia. This is just my feigning force, so let's just call off that attack. And then we are getting a fight here in Sinai. This is tricky. They outnumber me by quite a bit. Oh god, they're bringing in... They brought in their 6-star general, their guy that's a fine leader with +4 morale. Damn, that's tough. I don't think there's anything I can do against this because they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units of Nubian spears and then 3, 4, 5 Bedouin camel warriors. That's just in their main force. I don't think I can stop that. 4 archers. I barely have a melee line. Yeah, I can't fight this. So let's call off that attack. Let's see. This guy was he was attacking from Palestine, and the Egyptians ended up not taking Palestine. So I should have a place to retreat to. Plague, influenza epidemic in Cyprus. This infection causes headaches, high temperature, extreme lethargy, and fever. Income halved in Cyprus. Border fort finished in Tripoli. Shipwright is finished here in Rhodes. Watchtowers finished in Egypt. And let's see, anything? Nope. Alright, did we accomplish anything? It doesn't feel like it. Alright, Cyprus very low. Damn. Ugh. And I can't do anything about that because it's cut off. 76%. Ugh, man, I really hope I don't have a rebellion there. God damn it, I can't even hire another unit of peasants because I just started building my first boat there. And I don't want to cancel that because then I'd lose that money that I invested in it. Damn, okay. Hopefully I don't lose Cyprus. I have 1 unit of spearmen and then 2 peasants to defend. So if there is a small little rebellion, hopefully I can squash it. Gosh, that would really suck. There's nothing I can do, is there? No. I mean, a church, it's going to take 4 turns for that church to be completed, so... Town Watch, it'd take 2 turns for that to be finished. Town Watch does provide a loyalty boost, and I believe a church does as well. 2 turns for the Town Watch. It's tempting, but I feel like in 2 turns, I feel like this is going to be over with. So let's just hope that it does not go rebel. Alright, so Egypt, peasants, go. Border fort, go. Can we leave it? No, we cannot. It's still at 31% without this army. Okay, Where to go from here? I feel like down here it's just going to be a matter of essentially, I mean, I guess kind of playing cat and mouse with these Egyptian armies until my army here in Egypt becomes available. Because until I can actually, you know, leave Egypt with this army, yeah, I don't think I should, I think I should just make sure I can keep Egypt, because then I have these Egyptian armies trapped in these provinces. And it's tempting. I want to build something in Palestine. You know, fort would be great, but I just feel like I would lose Palestine. Yeah, I feel like I'm probably going to give it up right now, in fact. So I'm probably going to attack Arabia here. And the idea is that in some ways I want to draw them into a fight, but in other ways I don't want to fight all 4 stacks by myself without reinforcements from Prince Manuel, if that makes sense. So if I can take out the weaker of the forces here, which is going to be the Sultan, and leave the stronger forces for later, that would be preferable. Now, of course, they could just reinforce Arabia, but because I'm leaving Palestine open, I'm hoping that temptation to just kind of take it for free is going to be too strong for them. And that possibly could leave me with a fight here in Arabia. So that is going to be the plan with that. Oh no. The Italians went for it. I missed this too. They put a boat in the Adriatic and I forgot. I forgot that I needed to bring forces back to Greece. Oh, that's so annoying. That's so annoying. So the Italians have invaded Greece. Oh man, well they invaded Greece with one of their nobles, so hopefully I can get rid of him. I will just retreat to my stronghold here. Yeah, Greece has been lost. Gosh, that's so frustrating. Alright, Syria invaded. Okay, wow, okay, this is really bizarre. The Sultan is going in on an attack on Syria with a unit of desert archers, regular archers, and Nubian spears. I have 3 peasants, 1 spearman, and 3 horse archers. I think I can beat this. In fact, yeah, I really don't know what he's thinking. I'd be surprised if he actually went through with this attack. I'm going to start this battle off with my line of peasants and spears in the back with my general horse archer just kind of guarding them. And then up front, I'm screening with my 2 units of horse archers up here, thinking that maybe I can get some shots in. I don't want to get a skirmishing fight with their archers or their desert archers, but maybe if I can get around behind them and get some shots in on either their Sultan or perhaps these Nubian spears, that can be good for us. Now that their spearmen have sort of been left behind a little bit, my horse archers are in a position to get some shots into the rear of this unit, and that's going to be doing a lot of good damage for us. They have already lost about 15 men. Yeah, that's what I need. This is the kind of damage that I really do need. However, while this is happening, this Sultan is getting ahead of himself along with some archers, and my line is waiting, although it's mostly peasants, so I need to kind of be careful here. They did send their desert archers to kind of, screen out to try to protect their spearmen, so I'm going to kind of keep my horse archers in loose formation and spread them out a little bit so I can try to keep the pressure on these spearmen. And if I have to, maybe I could even go into a little bit of a melee fight here against these archers with my 2 units of horse archers. And that's what I decided to do. I figured if I just close in with both units, I can get in here, you guys go on this side, and then you guys go on this side, and hopefully 2 units of horse archers can cut down this unit of desert archers. But no, this unit of horse archers breaks after losing 14 men. They're running away, and geez, just like that, it's like, oh man, horse archers just can't beat desert archers. Desert archers, mind you, are pretty solid. They're not super elite. They're not like as good as Trebizond archers, but they are better in a melee fight than regular archers. And these are just horse archers, like basic regular horse archers. So maybe I shouldn't have been too surprised. With this unit, they did rally, so now I can continue to get some shots in with these spearmen. But while I'm distracted back here, I wasn't able to quite really react to this charge over here, where the Sultan has charged into a unit of peasants, and these guys really need the rest of my army to activate here. So we'll be sending in peasants on both sides, crashing in on the Sultan on all sides. The spearmen will crash in as well. Eventually, I'll throw in my horse archer general to try to close this in as well. This unit of peasants does break, but you know what? The Sultan is down to 14 men, and he's being attacked on all sides. So as we go up here, these Byzantine horse archers have, kind of pulled back a little bit. And these horse archers, yeah, there's only 4 left. They were beaten by these desert archers, which is just really impressive. They fought 2 units of horse archers by themselves and just kind of beat them, which is crazy. So yeah, 4 horse archers left in that little unit. They're probably going to run away. They're probably done for. But you know what? I still do have 23 left here. They can still sort of, harry and harass these Nubian spears. And this Sultan seems like he is out by himself. There's a few guys left in his bodyguard. Looks like he has 6 guys total in his unit. And he might get cut down here. Although these archers are now coming up to support. Now the Sultan stands alone, and he is trying to run away. So let's see if we will be able to cut him down here in this mass, in this horde, in this melee. These archers are not getting involved as quickly as they would like. But these Nubian spears are getting closer, and my horse archers can only skirmish with them for so long. And now that this Sultan seems like he just squeaked out of that melee, squeaked out of that mass of soldiers. And that really is unfortunate, because now I have to focus my army on the rest of these soldiers. I can't really focus on chasing them down. So I'm sending these horse archers to try to chase down these basic archers. Maybe that can work. We will see. And then I decided to send my rest of my forces. These horse archers can push back these desert archers. And my melee force can try to square up against these Nubian spears. It looks like my general might be wavering here, and he might break and run. You would think that I would have learned my lesson about sending horse archers to fight, a full-strength unit of archers, but nope. I have to make that same mistake twice in one battle. However, we were able to break this unit of desert archers, which is nice, and my unit of horse archers was able to evade, detection. Well, not detection, but they were able to evade this unit of Nubian spears, and I will be looping them around so that I can try to draw these Nubian spearmen back into my horde of peasants here. And yes, my general has been driven off by these archers, which is a really poor showing, but again, I should have known that. And now these regular archers are shooting into the rear of my peasants, which does not feel good. That makes me feel like they could be causing an issue here later. But first things first, let's see if we can try to bring these Nubian spears into an engagement where I can kind of surround them on all sides and hopefully beat them down. With some careful maneuvering, I was able to bring them into an engagement with my peasants and my spears, and then I just figured, let's go for it. Let's get a rear charge in with his horse archers into these Nubian spearmen. They are disciplined, so breaking them is not going to be easy here. This is a very good unit, and they're fighting a bunch of crappy units. Luckily, my general did rally, so he's sitting up here with his 8 horse archers, and we will see if he gets involved here soon enough, because it looks like these desert archers want to charge into the rear of my peasants, and that could really turn the tide here. So I do activate my general, and it looks like he will be driving off these desert archers, which is nice. And then these Nubian spears do break and run away. I can continue to chase them down. I think I task out my infantry to chase down these Nubian spears, and then I task out all of my horse archers to chase down all of these desert archers and basic archers. And what a scrappy close one, eh? I mean, there were some moments here when I was not sure how this was going to end. And all in all, pretty indecisive. I mean, a pretty small scale battle, but keeping Syria is nice, and doing a bit of damage to a few of these units also felt pretty good. I have to admit that went a little bit bloodier than I anticipated. That was a kind of a scrappy little battle, wasn't it? I did defend Syria. Unfortunately, I was not able to kill the Sultan. However, the fact that he probably, fled the field, right, might give him an even worse trait in leadership. So, you know what? I'll take it. And here we go in Arabia. And is this a fight that I want to take? This is... So they did reinforce. They did send their 6-star general to reinforce Arabia. And we just have a mountain of Bedouin camel warriors. Just a absolute mountain. And then... yeah, 5-6 units of Nubian spears. They outnumber me by about 500-ish. And... Can I withstand a charge? Do I have enough here? I have three units of full-strength spearmen, 1 unit of full-strength Byzantine infantry. That's not nothing. But man, I don't think I have enough infantry units. My Trebizond archers definitely can fight decently in melee, but considering that I'm going up against that 6-star general who's giving his entire army +3 valor, and not to mention the +4 morale, I just don't think so. I don't think so. I have to call off this attack. Yeah, this is not the fight that I want. I want, if I'm going up against this army, and I'm going to be outnumbered, I want to at least have my 8-star general who's hanging out in Egypt. Yeah, that's at least what I want. So, let's call this attack off. And I was able to sink another Italian boat, but then I did lose another boat of my own, which has been really annoying. I've lost 2 boats so far in that war. And, let's see, captured some soldiers. Oh, I guess those are the Egyptian soldiers. Okay. And then unrest in Palestine. Okay, this sucks. Yeah, loyalists. I just gave the Egyptians a bunch more armies. Like that looks like a lot. That looks like 2 full stacks. God damn, that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with. Man, this Egyptian issue is a real problem, isn't it? So I am the richest. Hurrah, huzzah, I guess. Manuel Duques is now a 1-star general. That's that horse archer unit that led me in that Syrian fight. Border fort is finished in Egypt, and let's see, Manuel Duques, Prince Andronicus is hesitant. Ugh, gosh. So yeah, because he called off that attack on Syria, he's now -1 loyalty and -2 morale. Damn, I hate that. I hate that that's in this game. Like you just get punished for making the right move. Alright, what do they have here? God damn. Oh, Jesus. Muwahid foot soldiers are a really good infantry unit, a very good spearman that is kind of the opposite of the Nubian spears. The Nubian spears are 100-man units that fight typically, like a typical spear unit. Muwahid foot soldiers are a really good attack and really good charge bonus, but they come in a 60-man unit as opposed to like a typical 100-man spear unit. They are good, and I just gave them a bunch. 4 there, and then 3 there. 7 fucking units of Muwahid foot soldiers. Fuck, goddamn. Oh man, and that's not counting all the archers too. Just a fuck ton of archers. Fuck, god, oh. Okay, this is quite the quagmire, isn't it? I feel like I need to start bringing troops back down to this way. Now that my western front is looking okay, I feel like I need more on my east, and I still can't get mercenaries. God damn. Nothing's available in Trebizond to hire. Okay, can I leave Egypt yet? No, I cannot. Fuck. Okay. Let's get a town watch because this will improve loyalty here. And I just have to retreat from Palestine. I just have to really try to conserve these forces until this army can be activated. Anything else I can do? I just need more forces. I need to, and I need to deal with this as well. And goddamn, so the Italians are just really building boats at a pretty fast rate at this point. And I probably will not be able to eliminate their navy until I can really start. Let's just kind of pull back you and consolidate these boats so they don't get picked off. And just kind of check. Yeah, the galley, 0 stars. My Dromons are all 3-star admirals, which is nice. Yeah, this Egyptian issue is it's really becoming a problem. I thought I was going to be able to figure it out, but no. And I thought that I was going to get more mercenaries, but they've just dried up. There's been 0. Yeah, 0. So yeah, I just need to go back to training soldiers full stop. Trebizond, Nicaea, and Armenia. Keep bringing me archers, spearmen, horse archers, and I can start bringing over. I was training bishops in Constantinople to help me just with the population loyalty in these provinces, trying to kind of, convert people to orthodoxy. But I need to go back to training Byzantine infantry here in Constantinople and have them make that long march over to the Levant so that we can try to, figure this out with the Egyptians. I did not think it was going to be take this long. That's been kind of an issue. Luckily, Cyprus is okay. Is for small miracles. Yeah, so that's going to be that, and I also need to bring some soldiers down here to kill this small Italian force. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. I can just bring my emperor over to lead this battle. And I can bring some forces down from Bulgaria and Serbia to... I think I'll just trap him. Yeah, this army, because the fact that this Italian boat left the Adriatic and went to the Ionian, they don't have an escape route. So I would just kill this guy. He's 2 loyalty. Prince Orso, man. Great warrior. Other than that, not much. 0 command stars. Still, killing an Italian heir would be nice. And it seems like anytime I sink an Italian boat, they have another one on the way. So I'm just going to need more boats in the water so that I can clear their ships up and eventually open up this trade route. But this is really becoming a grind. Income is not great. Income is not great. Yeah. Things are stable enough, but they're also feel kind of stuck, and I feel like I'm not progressing fast enough, so I don't really know what the answer is. I guess I just need to activate this army as soon as possible. As soon as I can activate this army, I can start going to work against the Egyptians. Until then, it's just going to feel really slow and stupid because these armies are not strong enough. You know, even together, these armies are probably not strong enough just to beat, you know, these armies. That's not to mention the three, well, the two that just kind of popped out of nowhere. So yeah, I really need Prince Manuel to activate and get involved in this war. I do think taking Egypt still felt right, and the fact that it kind of closes off a retreat and kind of means that I can move and push on this way feels okay. As long as I can keep delaying this area on this side, once I can leave Egypt, I can push on to Sinai and keep this one border province on this side, you know, taking Sinai, taking the fort, taking my time if I have to, you know, and controlling it, making sure that there's not going to be any loyalist rebellions or anything like that. Building a border fort, building a border watchtower, training some peasants, and then moving on with Prince Manuel's army on into Palestine and Arabia. It feels slow, it feels kind of dumb, but so far the Egyptians do seem like they've been pretty indecisive when it comes to attacking deeper into my territory. So as long as I can kind of continue to delay that engagement with, you know, the forces that I have, well, I do continue to trickle on reinforcements from my more heartland territories. That does seem like that's going to work eventually. It just feels frustrating in the moment because it's taking a little bit longer. But you know what? That's all going to have to wait till next time. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and thank you very much for watching. This has been Conostep playing a medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.